Hey everyone, Drew here. Today I want to do something a little bit different and share with you a short story of something that happened to me on my journey to becoming an Army chaplain, and I think it will really help you in your journey as well. So make sure to tune in. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in today to the Tattooed Chap. I'm Drew, the Tattooed Chap. And as I said, I want to share with you a story of something that happened to me in my journey to becoming a chaplain, and I think it'll be something that can help you in your journey as well. But before we get started, make sure to follow me on Instagram. Also follow me on LinkedIn so we can know each other professionally. And if you still have not yet done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you're reminded when new videos come out. And also, it always helps if you like and share these videos as well. So I don't want to spend too much time on all that kind of stuff, so let's get started. Now, the story I want to share with you today is a story that I think helped me determine why I wanted to be a chaplain and what the true nature of chaplaincy is. It's something that I think could help you also as you're discerning this call and maybe even pursuing this call, and maybe you can learn from my experience. So this is what I want to share with you. So as you guys know, I'm covered in tattoos. I have full sleeves on both arms. One leg is practically a sleeved leg. The other leg has a lot, and I have a full back piece. Now, in the Army, it was okay to have tattoos as long as they weren't sexist or racist, and they couldn't be on your hands or your face, and those were pretty much the general rules. And that was all the way up until like 2013 through the global war on terror. As an enlisted personnel, I had a lot of tattoos. I used to play in a punk rock band. I used to do all that kind of stuff before I joined the Army, and I got most of my tattoos during that time, but I have had some since. Now, this is what happened. I felt the call to ministry to become a chaplain back in 2007, somewhere around there. My mom had died in a tragic accident, and it was my chaplain, Glenn Palmer, and my commander, Robert Heatherly, that walked with me through that time as a young private. And their ministry to my life helped me walk through that really rough time. And also during that time, I felt God calling me to be a chaplain so that I could be there for soldiers just like my chaplain was there for me. Now, this is the thing. I had hardly any college when I joined the Army. I didn't even have an associate's degree, but I felt the call and I knew that I had to have a master's of divinity if I wanted to be a chaplain. So what did I do? I used all my free time, well, most of it anyways, working on college so that I could get to that point. In 2010, I got out of the active Army so I could go to seminary so that I could become a chaplain. I was out for a period of time and I really missed the military life, and so I re-enlisted as an NCO in the Washington National Guard as a forward observer. And I was doing those things while I was going to school and working as a pastor. Well, I was pretty much done with my Master's of Divinity. During that last semester, I put together my chaplain packet for the Army. I was working with a chaplain Army recruiter. My packet was getting set to go before the board to be reviewed and whether or not I'd be selected. I had all my ducks in a row, everything was polished, everything looked good, but there was something that happened that was outside of my control. The Army came out with a new tattoo policy. And the tattoo policy said something along the lines that if you had a tattoo that was larger than a softball on any limb, or if you had a sleeve, then you couldn't join the military. But I was lucky because I was already in, I was grandfathered in. So the Army just had to review all the tattoos that I had and document them. The problem with that though is even though I was grandfathered in, the rule also stipulated that you could not accession from enlisted to the officer's side. So I was not able to become a chaplain. Now, I don't know about you, but I was crushed and devastated. I had spent the last 7 or so years of my life working towards this one goal. My dreams and my hope for my future calling, it all seemed to shatter right before me. I had put my identity into becoming a chaplain, and I knew that I was going to be one. But then this thing happened, and I was told that I would not be able to be a chaplain. Now, after that happened, I wish I could say that I trusted God and I didn't doubt Him or anything of that nature. But honestly, I got kind of bitter towards the Army, and I got bitter towards God, and I was confused and I was hurt. I was angry at both of them. I just had a really bad attitude for about 2 weeks after that announcement had come out. One day, about 2 or 3 weeks later, I went for a run. During that run, I was complaining to God, I was accusing God, I was asking him questions like, I thought you called me to be a chaplain. Why would you let me work so hard for all this stuff and then take the dream away from me? You know, those types of questions. And it was not a pleasant conversation. But during that run, I felt like God asked me a question. Now, it wasn't audible, but I can't really describe it. It was in there somewhere. I felt God ask, so Drew, why do you want to be a chaplain? And my response to God was quick. I want to be a chaplain so I can love and help soldiers. And I thought that was a good answer. And then I felt like God responded with this statement. And he said, Drew, do you need to be a chaplain to love and help soldiers? And I didn't have to answer the question because I already knew the answer. The answer is no. I didn't need to be a chaplain to help and love soldiers. As an NCO and as a person, I could still help and love soldiers. And it was at that moment that my attitude changed and I trusted God and I said, God, maybe I'll be the most educated NCO out there in theology, but I'm gonna honor you and love you and help and love soldiers in whatever position I'm in as an NCO in the Army. Once I did that, I started finding creative ways to minister and bless the soldiers around me in my guard unit. And I was able to bless my unit in some pretty amazing ways. Now, what I didn't know at the time is that we would get a new Sergeant Major of the Army, Sergeant Major Daly, and he would come in and reverse that tattoo rule. And when he did, I dropped my packet right away and I got picked up to be a chaplain. I've been a chaplain since. I didn't know that the Army was going to change this rule. At the time, all the evidence said to the contrary. They were shrinking the Army down, people were being forced to retire early, and it didn't look like they were going to change that rule. But they did. It's been awesome being a chaplain since. But what I learned in that scenario is a few different things. One, being a chaplain isn't about the rank, it's not about the title, it's not about the position, it's not about what's on your chest in the uniform, whether it be a cross or a crescent moon or some other symbol. What it is, it's really about the heart, the identity, the calling. The calling's there because God put it there. The calling's not there because someone says it's there. So at the time, the Army, in a way, said that they didn't recognize that calling, but I knew that God had called me, and I sought to honor Him by loving and taking care of soldiers. So what I want to leave with all of you today that are maybe on your chaplain journey is this, it's not so much about the position, the title, the pay, any of that kind of stuff that comes along with being a chaplain. It really comes ultimately down to that call. Are you called? And if you are, find a way to live out that calling even now. Being a chaplain doesn't start once the military says, yes, we select you. Being a chaplain starts now, where you're at, loving soldiers, loving their families in your current situation. There's people around you that need someone to be in their lives with that ministering presence. And maybe you're not close to soldiers and things of that nature. Maybe you're at college, maybe you're in a church, maybe it's just your community. But the call of the chaplain exists even there, even now, if God is calling you to be a chaplain. So I want to encourage you, go out, make a difference, make God famous in the circles that you're in right now, and extend that ministry of presence in that sphere that you occupy. Well, everyone, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I just wanted to share a little bit of the twists and the turns that I had to go through in becoming a chaplain. And I thought maybe it would encourage you if you're going through some twists and turns. And ultimately, I think that experience that I went through was to help me see that it wasn't about the title, wasn't about the position, but it was really about the calling, what God was calling me to do. And I want to challenge you to embrace that calling. Don't let it become about the uniform or the position, the title, the rank, any of that kind of stuff. Just do it for God's glory and because you want to love your fellow man and woman. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure to hit the like button and share this with other people. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. We'll see you next time, and goodbye.